The military hangar smelled of jet fuel and sweat. It echoed with laughter, boots stomping on concrete, and the occasional clang of gear being adjusted. Inside, a group of Delta Force operators, some of the toughest soldiers alive, were gathered around for pre-deployment training. And in the middle of them stood Mark. Was different. He wasn't here as one of them. He was here as a civilian contractor, a single father who had left active duty years ago after the death of his wife. Life had cornered him into odd jobs, and this assignment, training logistics and safety drills, was just another paycheck to keep the lights on for his 10-year-old daughter, Lily. Mark carried a quiet strength. He wasn't flashy, he wasn't loud, but on his right forearm, visible under his rolled-up sleeve, was a faded tattoo, a circle of names surrounding a single date. That tattoo was more than ink. It was the memorial of his fallen unit, men who never came home from a mission overseas. He carried them with him everywhere, a vow to never forget. But to the young, cocky operators in the hangar, it looked like something else entirely. "Hey, what is that?" One soldier snickered, pointing at the worn tattoo. Another chuckled, "Looks like something from a biker gang, not the army." And then came the laughter. Loud, mocking, contagious. Mark froze. He didn't shout back. He didn't explain. He just stood there, his hand instinctively covering the ink. Inside, though, a storm raged. These men, who prided themselves on honor and loyalty, were laughing at the only piece of his past he couldn't let go of. Later that night, back in his small apartment, Lily noticed her dad staring at his arm in silence. "Daddy, why are you sad?" she asked softly, clutching her stuffed rabbit. He forced a smile. "Just tired, sweetheart." But Lily wasn't fooled. She crawled onto his lap and whispered, "Mom used to say that tattoo was your heart on your sleeve." Mark held her tighter than ever. The laughter still echoed in his ears, but her words grounded him. He didn't know that the next day would bring something he never expected. The following morning, the atmosphere in the hangar shifted. The men stood straighter, voices hushed. A visiting officer had arrived. A battle-hardened leader known for his stern presence and decorated career. The man had walked battlefields most soldiers only read about. As Harris inspected the room, his sharp gaze landed on Mark. For a moment, the air grew heavy. The tattoo on Mark's arm was visible again, and a few of the Delta Force soldiers exchanged smirks, waiting to see if the general would scold the civilian for his unprofessional ink. Instead, something unexpected happened. The general froze. His eyes locked on the tattoo. Slowly, deliberately, Harris rolled up his own sleeve. Gasps rippled through the room. On his arm, faded but unmistakable, was the exact same tattoo. The laughter died instantly. The general's voice carried like thunder. "You laugh at this? Do you even know what it means? These are not random names. They are warriors. They are family. I carry them with me, just like Reynolds does. Because we were there. Because they gave everything." The room fell silent. The same soldiers who mocked Mark now stood red-faced, unable to meet his eyes. For the first time, Mark saw their pride stripped down to humility. General Harris stepped closer, placing a firm hand on Mark's shoulder. "Reynolds, you never have to explain this to anyone. Those who know, know." Mark felt something he hadn't in years. Validation. Not from medals, not from ranks, but from shared sacrifice. That evening, when Mark returned home, Lily greeted him with her usual hug. But this time, when she looked at the tattoo, he didn't cover it up. He held his arm out proudly and said, "This is our story, kiddo, and no one can take it away." She smiled, eyes shining. "Then I'll remember it too."